Doug, tell me. I mean, if there is some let's say, for example, you were given command control of all the armed forces in the area. Is there some plan? Is there some path that if they only follow the Ukrainian side, that they could either achieve a stalemate or even in time roll back Russia?
No. What I would say if I were in command of the armed forces right now is it is imperative, whether we like it or not, that we sit down privately and listen to what the Russians demand. It's that simple. There's no longer an opportunity to negotiate whatever the people in Kyiv think is equitable. Too many people have died. Too much time has been lost. Too much bad blood has been spilled. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to stop fighting. You need an immediate ceasefire in place, and then you have to have a meeting on the battlefield, preferably somewhere in eastern Ukraine where the fighting is being going on. They bring their maps, everybody shows up, and they make some sort of agreement about disengagement. Meanwhile, once that disengagement is underway, they've got to sit down somewhere else on a political level with the leading diplomats, advised by their military experts, as to how they're going to redraw the map. And everyone acts like, oh, you can't redraw the map. Do you realize how many hundreds of times the maps of Eastern Europe and the Middle East have been redrawn? How many empires have risen and fallen over hundreds of years? It's nonsensical. You got to stop the fighting. What's the first thing you do in an emergency situation when you find someone that's injured? Well, I tell you, number one, first step, stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Clear the airway. I mean, you just go down the list, all right? If you can stop the bleeding long enough and go through the steps that I just suggested, disengagement, I think something similar, frankly, needs to happen with the Israelis. But I think we're far further from that right now than we are in Ukraine. But right now, that's what's in Ukraine's interest, and not Mr. Zelensky and the crooks and criminals who have been stealing everything they get their hands on, who all have bank accounts in Cyprus and homes in Italy somewhere. I'm talking about the Ukrainian people and the nation.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have to be saved from this wreckage.